So welcome everyone. I'm Judy Sims. I am the founder of the Expansive Woman Project. I think you are in for quite a treat today. I had a preview of this session yesterday just by myself. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed, and I got, a little personal attention, which was very nice also. I was told I was giving Garbo vibes with my eyeshadow, so I have duplicated that eyeshadow for today because, that's not a bad thing. Having some Garbo vibes is always a good thing. All right, enough about me. Let's talk about Allie Miller, who I'm so excited to have here. One of the incredible benefits to me of having an outstanding board of extraordinary women advising the Expansive Woman Project is that sometimes they introduce you to other extraordinary women. And that happened this time. Board member Nicole Rudner introduced Allie and I probably about, I think, 6 months ago now. It's been a while. And man, did we ever hit it off. We just became very fast friends. It was amazing. Nicole, I guess, sensed that we had a similar vibe and that this would work. Allie is really an extraordinary woman who brings a sense of consciousness to your personal style. She is the founder and CEO of the ethical Aesthete. She has helped hundreds of people curate wardrobes that honor their unique beauty and values. And this is where she and I are so aligned. Her education includes visual art, costume design, garment construction. You're going to learn a little bit about that today, and the fashion industry. All of that informs her work with clients. But to her, it's really listening and intuition that are just as important as the visual that she has of a client. So when she really gets to know you, she can help you tell a story through your clothes. And I'm so excited to have you here today, Allie. I hope that this is the beginning of a beautiful partnership between you and I that extends beyond just today's workshop. I am going to hand it over to you. Welcome to the Expansive Woman Project. And yeah, let's get started.
Golly, thanks. That was such a kind introduction. And of course, I feel the same way about you. And I'm part of that community Judy shared about earlier before, and I highly recommend it. She sends such great content out. But anyway, so you want to see my presentation? We should do
Let's
it.
do it.
Let's do it. Okay. Can you see this?
We can. We're good.
A very organized closet. Probably AI generated because no one's closet looks that organized. The purpose of today, I'm not really a rules person. I'm more of a tools person. So we're going to mostly think in those terms. And I hope that those tools will help serve you in building an authentic work wardrobe that is really also strategic for you. There is one rule. I lied. I already lied. I hope you still trust me, but I already lied. There is just one rule, and it is to be gentle. I'm allergic to cats, but I do feel this inspires a lot of gentleness in me, this little image here. And the reason I say that is because we're talking about clothes, which implicitly means we're talking about bodies. And a lot of us are going to have history with these issues. I think when you're discussing clothes and power and how that intersects, it's going to bring up a lot of stuff around gender, class, race, ethnicity, and these are also topics that we can have a lot of history and even trauma with. So yeah, be gentle with yourself and with others. This topic of psychology is called enclothed cognition. And it's basically about how our clothes change our mind. So a lot of us have a sense that, you know, how we dress impacts how others perceive us. Like that's sort of like a no duh. But the thing that I find really fascinating is that it actually seems to affect our performance as well. And I'm going to give you some examples of that that I think are really fascinating. Okay. So this one is really interesting. They gave some subjects regular t-shirts and other subjects Superman t-shirts. And they asked them to self-report on things like, how much can you lift? Like, how much do people like you? And they were like, I can lift 1,000,000 pounds and everybody loves me, and they thought that they were giving superhero vibes. So I thought that that was a really funny one. Another one that you might be interested in, if I can get the slide to advance. Okay, this one. I'm pretty sure this test was from the 90s. A lady, Barbara Fredrickson, did it, maybe in the UK. So maybe those sweaters were called jumpers, who knows? But some of them were given swimsuits to wear, others, sweaters. And then they were given a little test to like self-report how they felt. So if they were feeling self-conscious, they had the chance to dwell on that and ensconce it in writing, and then given the math test. And when I first read this, so first of all, put in the chat, who do you think performed better, jumpas or swimsuits? Curious what you'll think. Yes. Yeah, you all know. And when I first read that data, I was like, what if they were just cold? Like, what if they were like still in their bathing suit? They were just cold. But yeah, the ladies in the swimsuits did not do as well in the performance of the math test. Another one that's interesting, Judy and I were chuckling about this yesterday. So everybody got 3/4 length white coats, and some people were told these belong to a painter, and others were like, this is a doctor's coat. And then they took mental agility tests, and the people that believed they were wearing doctor's coats did better on the test. I guess they were just sitting there like, I'm a brilliant doctor and I'm going to ace this test. I don't know. I'm like fascinated. I'm like, well, what if they painted a wall? Then who would have done better? But I think it's really interesting. That one I think was from the Kellogg School of Management at Northwestern. I think that's a fascinating one. And then the last one is a Cal State study, but formal business attire, which I think kind of looks like this, like a fairly traditional menswear inspired suit. Found that kind of attire made people think more like leaders. And I knew immediately Judy would be like, what does that mean? What does it mean to think more like a leader in the context of their study? And I believe they defined it as sort of visionary, abstract thought. So, yeah, really interesting. But there is actually a significant amount of data, not just on how we're perceived. There's plenty of data on that too, and we'll get into it, but that we actually perform differently in different clothes. I think it's really interesting. So women wearing more masculine attire, this is kind of one of the data points I thought you'd be interested in, Barbara. More masculine attire were rated higher in the interview process. And when I say masculine, I mean like a traditional, like sort of dark colored, low embellishment, straight lines menswear suit. Women wearing feminine dress were rated more friendly, but less competent. Being attractive, quote unquote, can increase your earning power by as much as 40%. And part of me is like, could be more than that even, like a part of me is like wondering, I mean, maybe that study was pre-influencer culture, but I think that there's a lot of wealth being generated partly on, good looks outside of being like a really gorgeous model or an actress or something. I think we're monetizing our physical appearance in new and somewhat terrifying to me ways. And then the last thing is contradictory perhaps and very annoying perhaps, but that females who are managers and perceived as attractive are rated as less trustworthy. So I know that a lot of this data is a little tricky to encounter, and much of it is sort of contradictory as well. And the reason I'm sharing it with you is because I want you to have the information and make strategic choices that feel right to you, but I want them to be informed, And I also want you to know that if it ever felt to you like you were walking a tightrope, it is because you are. It's because you are. I know that that's a little tough to navigate all of that information. And my best advice to you is to just take it in and make choices based on what feels resonant to you. I'm not going to say there are right answers, but there might be right questions for you to ask yourself so that you feel a clarity of purpose and have a sense of a compass for yourself about all that. If there are questions, you can put them in the chat. We have a little bit of time.
Do not miss this opportunity to ask questions.
It's okay if they're fairly like maybe just very specific to you questions. That's totally fine.
This is when everybody gets shy.
Oh no,
Or they're
sorry.
thinking, oh, there we go.
Oh, excellent. Oh, great question by Sharon. How do you feel about dry clean only versus delicate cycle in the washing machine? I'm afraid I'm not a very good example, because everything besides undergarments that I've bought in the last like 20 years is all second market. So I'm a little more willing to take a gamble on a silk blouse going in the delicate cycle, because I don't really want to pay the dry cleaner more than I paid for the garment, so I'm a little naughty about that myself. Um, I dry clean all my stuff at home. The other thing is steaming is a germ remover and a freshener, and a lot of people don't think about it, but it's pretty safe. Um, Okay, let's see what else. So yeah, I do all that stuff at home. Will say always inside out. I wash all my clothes inside out and cold water wash, unless it was like I did chores and something and it was really nasty. Like it's cold water wash all the time, always on delicate. And my clothes last a really long time and I mend them if they are in disrepair and blah blah blah. Okay. Um, oh, interesting, Jackie. Hmm. Feel free to email me about that. I might have an idea for you. I will say, like, I think that fashion, like retail, thinks that all women of a certain age want to be in garments that hit them 3/4 down down the femur and really soft edges on everything. And
Don't
our
forget the ugly,
skeletons.
ugly patterns,
Yes, yes. And the skeletons
flowers and
remain the same.
things.
Like if you always looked good in sharp tailoring, like you still will at every age. You know what I mean? So you can email me if you want ideas about that. Um, oh, jumpsuits? Yeah. I've had a couple clients that I was like, try a blazer over that jumpsuit, and it like looks amazing. I think you can. I mean, I think a jumpsuit that's like very obviously for like an evening event, like a low plunge jumpsuit or like backless or something. Obviously, unless you work in a nightclub, you're probably not going to wear that to work, right? So I think it's fine. I think jumpsuits aren't inherently unprofessional. I think it's about how you style it. Would it look good with a blazer over it? I think is like a great test. Balancing styling and dressing professionally when working from home full time. Okay, Kelsey, that's a great question. I feel like I myself am guilty of business from the top half up, and I think it's fine. I will say that I probably am performing better when I'm dressing better. I am unusually susceptible to the power of clothes, obviously, given what I do for a living, but the data says we all are, right? So I think maybe doing a little extra for yourself might make you feel good every day? Okay, any other burning questions? I probably missed a few things. Okay, well, we're at time. So if anybody had like a burning question they didn't get to ask, like feel free to, email me. I guess I didn't share my email, but you can
I
put it.
will I will send an email out tomorrow that has all your contact information in it. So
Oh, okay, that's easy.
everybody who attended and registered can receive information about you and how to work with you. This was amazing, Allie. You are so brilliant, but also so compassionate and so smart about how we talk about our clothes and the impact that it has on our careers and our mindsets and all of that. So I feel very safe with you having this conversation,
Oh, that's so nice
which
to hear.
normally I would not at all. So thank you very much. You're getting all these thank yous for being such a great lunch date today.
Oh, good. Thank you all for coming and especially for the people I know. That was very sweet of you. Thank you for that.
Yeah, yeah, that was awesome. You nailed it, sister. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, other sister. Can't wait to talk to you next time.
Yeah. Okay.
Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
everybody.